Shalom. I want to start giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching the scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who are doing this work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom. So, yeah, man. So I was thinking about, let's make a video about what. I'm thinking that right at this moment I'm at Curaçao, on an island in the Caribbean. It's part of Holland, like a colony of Holland. We had some northern tribes living here, from the Arawak tribe, so-called Indians. They were living here on this island, and so-called Negroes, majority from the tribe of Benjamin are here. The majority, you will find all the tribes here, but the majority is Benjamin. And we've been brought here as slaves, working in the sugarcane, and yeah. And how do you say that? So yeah, but if you come to this island, yeah, the people also, of course, there's crime going on. There's always a thing with Jake, but the people also are very how do you say that? Brotherly, very brotherly amongst each other. You don't find any form of racism here. Yeah, maybe against so-called white peoples from time to time, but amongst each other, people are very brotherly, and it's very relaxing, and this makes me think, every time when I come to the island, I basically get all these tensions that I have from living in Holland, all this, you have to take care of this, this person, all dealing with all these demons, all this shit that's been going on, just constantly harassing that's going on over there. And here, as you can see it, I sit at the back of my house, and yeah, basically you see the yard there. There's a kitty walking by. There's some lizards. They're eating because there's a dog, basically a stray dog, that comes here also for a while. And every morning I put some food for the dog, and the dog basically eats. And now the dog left some of the food, and now you have the lizards. They be eating the dog food, and it's funny, it's dope to see, so here there's a lot of islands, as you can see in the picture, see the a part of the backyard, the big ass cactuses and the trees, it's very peaceful, the wind is blowing, you can hear the birds on the background, you have like the dwarf parrots, they're living here in the wild, all kinds of birds, there's all kinds of life going on. The wind blowing, you hear the trees, the leaves of the trees, those things are very relaxing, and basically, and that's also a thing I witnesses, with a lot of people, that when they come to Curacao for the first time, and not even only for the first, but for the first time, they basically don't want to leave. People don't want to leave, My cousin also, my niece, she was also telling me a story about her husband, that when they went to Curacao, that he was really thinking about what he can do so that they could stay there, stay here. And that is what Curacao does with people, because there's also one of the brothers from Great Millstone, Holland, and he's not always positive of places where he goes. He's not always positive of when he goes to a place, to another country. He will easily find something negative to say about it. But with Curacao, when he went here, he was really thinking about what he can do so that he don't have to go back to Holland. And it was really funny. I was really that really makes me laugh. Especially to see that with him. So yeah, the reason that I wanted to make this video is basically, we've been harassed, and of course it's part of our judgment, but that also shows you why we don't basically put our treasures up in here. And of course, there's nothing wrong with making a little bit money and saving up from some stuff and to achieve some goals. But nevertheless, we keep our eyes on the price. We're looking for something further than this shit that is currently going on the earth. Because however you wanna look at it, it's still polluted. Of course, here on the island there's less pollution going on than, for example, in Holland. You already see there's less pollution going. From the moment you exit the airplane, you arrive at the airport here, and you exit the airplane. The air already smells different. You feel there is a lot of oxygen in the air. It's totally different from the pollution which is going on in Holland. And of course, it's an island, so you're surrounded by sea, and there's constant wind going on, and it really does give you that feeling of relaxation, especially when you go to the beach. It's also a thing when you go to the beach. There's nothing more calming than the sea. Those are facts. The sea is very healing. And these things, and also like I said, you're sitting here, you're watching all these birds, butterflies, all kinds of insects. Butterfly passing by. That also it shows you the creation of the Heavenly Father. That's beautiful to see. Those things are beautiful to see. And there's gonna be a time that we are gonna be able. Damn, beautiful big ass butterfly just flew by. So there's gonna be a time when we're gonna be able to fully enjoy this planet, and that is where we're looking forward to. Even inherit other planets. Because everything is created for the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos. Everything is created for us. To begin with, so that we can fully enjoy it. Because you can enjoy it for a moment, but you cannot fully enjoy it, because you still got things to do. So you can go take your so-called little vacation or whatever, and move a little bit, but still it's not your rest. It's not completely your rest. You might have a relaxing moment, it's just for a moment, but it's still not your rest. That is something that needs to come still, that we are waiting for. So yeah, I had a couple scriptures in mind, so I'm just gonna go through them. So yeah. So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And wait a minute, this also reminds me, because it goes all the way back to Genesis, and we jump to that, where Adam, when he hearkened to Eve, when Eve got her mind polluted, by the devil. And how do you say that? Then there was always, that one of these curses, that we have to deal with it until this day, was already given then. Let me see. Yeah. So because of that, Adam hearkened unto his wife. This is what happened. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree. So basically, this speaking of all these philosophies, that people were going for, that she went afterwards, and to Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Because when the Adamites were there, it was a group of people. It's not Adam and Eve only. It was a group of people there, the Adamites, and they didn't knew evil. There was no evil. They didn't know about evil. Everything was good. You know. But yeah, this is all part of prophecy because we have to know how how a kingdom not should be reigned. This is what we're suffering right now. And when everything's gonna be good, you're gonna I said it. Then what's the word again? You're gonna um enjoy it. I'm not really. That's not really the word that I want to use. You're gonna be more grateful when everything is gonna be good again. For the children of Israel. Because for the children of Israel, everything's gonna be good again. And even for those heathens also, after hardcore slavery, all these heathens are gonna go for 1,000 years of captivity, and that is around the corner. So they're all gonna go into that. But afterwards, all the heathens except the so-called white people, the Edomites, they're gonna get their country back, but they're gonna be under the children of Israel. But they're gonna rejoice because the laws of Yahweh Basham Yahushai are the laws that's gonna be that the world's gonna live by. But the so-called white people, the Edomites, they're gonna be exterminated after 1,000 years. That's it, the Bible. And to Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. So, by the sweat on your, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. So, showing just basically to make your daily bread, you have to work hard for it. You have to work hard just to make a living. Basically, that's what it is. You have to work. We have to deal with all this nonsense, and that's the shit. The job, even a job doesn't have to be that hard physically, but it's still hard mentally. Because you have to deal with these devils. They still over you. They trying to trick you. They, and even if you look at the so-called, at us, at the so-called Negroes, if I speak for myself also, we have to prove ourselves. Yeah, but basically all the tribes have to deal with it, with this racism, that you have to prove yourself always 10 times more than these heathens. And I was talking to Jake last Sunday. It was yesterday. What's today? Next Tuesday, Sunday. And I was at the beach, and there was this Jake that worked there, and he had lived in Holland for 23 years or something. Worked there in a place called Volendam, which is also known for their racism. They're not funded about foreigners, so-called, And it's funny, and he was telling me a story, and we were talking about, and I said, as we as colored people have to prove ourselves always 10 times more, and they always look down upon us, things like that. And and he knows that, and he noticed that, and he was telling me a story, but Jake, we are very inventive, and we are, we are well known for, if we go somewhere and things is not structured, we bring structure there. So he was telling me a story. He was working in the kitchen, how he came to that company. It was like basically one big mess. He came and brought some structure, working with children and all that, and he basically put them, I say that, he basically gave them structure and all that, and eventually people start to appreciate it, and that's also a thing, then they see, and and they always want to say like, oh, you are one of the good ones, because because that's also a part of our punishment, to be a proverb, and that they speak bad about us, that you always have to prove yourself, because that's part of the curses that we have to deal with, but basically, to make a long story short, that was the case. He was working hard, and eventually they couldn't go around it. For example, Like here in Holland, you have this soccer player, Memphis Depay, you know, and you had this coach, I forgot his name, which one it was. I think it was Koeman, but it also could be another, or Dick Advocaat, one of these Edomites football coaches. And they were talking a lot of shit of him. But now he broke the records of some Edomite soccer player. No, I don't even know if it was an Edomite. Yeah, it was an Edomite soccer player. Player was before him, you know, like scoring the most goals as an interland, you know, things like that. He achieved a lot of things. So he went to a club in Brazil, Corinthians, which is dope, you know, that the club name of the club is like that. And that was a club, a football club, a soccer club that was about to go basically get lost. You know, they were on very, I believe even on the last place or something in the competition that they were in. But he brought that team to another level. So he was talking shit like, why would he go to a team like this and that, you know? You know how these devils are. They slanderous, you know, like the scripture said, you know. Always try to talk the shit, down talk him, you know. But meanwhile, without him, they couldn't achieve, even if you look at the Dutch soccer team, without him, they couldn't achieve the things that they have achieved. You know, he was the one that makes the assists and even the goals so that they can get further during this World Cup qualification. You know, without him, they wouldn't have reached it. You know, now they have one more match going on, I believe, against Poland that they have to win. And if not, then it's done for them. But even if you look at Corinthians, he lifted that club up and even win some prizes with that club, you know, and that's funny. And they were talking all this shit because you know how Jake B, you know, we like to come fly, and especially if you make a little bit money, you know. So he's doing his part in the sports, you know, and he likes, you know, to make some rap songs and have some drive some fancy cars, you know, expensive watches, stuff like that. So he had basically, you know, he had his hair braided and he had a sweatband on, you know. And they were talking all that shit like, yeah, you know, everybody was hyped up. Why would he wear that during a soccer match? This and that, blah, blah, blah. But he basically shut everybody the fuck up by making goals and these assists, you know. And then then you even saw people wearing those headbands, you know. But yeah, that's a devil for you, you know. He's ready to talk shit, but there's nothing in him, you know. And that reminds you of another scripture. Then I go back to the topic because I'm kind of drifting. But it is in him to do evil, you know. That's what it is. So let me see. So let me jump to the book of Jeremiah. And this is a scripture that I like to pull. But it shows you exactly the devil for what he is. That he can't help it to be a devil because he's created to be wicked, you know. That's what it is. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin? So can the Ethiopian change his skin color? By thought? No. You might say by bleaching or whatever, but by thought is not possible. Or the leopard has spots. Well, the leopard is known for his spots. He can do nothing about it. Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. You see that? He's created to do evil. So he's not able to do something good. He can act like he's a good person, but he's created to do evil. That's what it is. That is what it is. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, you know, here on the island you find this rest, but yeah, the shit that we were going through. And of course, you know, if you're like a man of the Lord, you know, the book of Sirach also explains that when you come to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you will go to stuff, you know, and that's what it is. So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of time. So this is only for a short period. With scriptures that comes in mind are like for example the book of Job 20, also Psalms 37. And let me just grab those scriptures real quick, showing you that is only for a small period that that we have to deal basically with this devil, because the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushai is gonna be forever, man. And forever, comparing to 1,000 years or 2,000 years or even 3,000 years, is nothing in comparison with forever, you know. World without end. So the book of Job chapter 20 verse 4, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the thriving of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. You see that? It's only a moment. In comparison with forever, it's only a moment. Though his excellency mounts up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dawn. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. Because he's gonna, like I said, after 1,000 years of slavery, he's gonna be exterminated. You know, he's gonna be no more. So let him have his fun, you know, basically that's what it is. Let him have his fun. Yeah, let him have fun, let him do whatever he wants. His time is about to end. It's around the corner. It's the book of Psalms chapter 37 and verse 1. You hear the birds? Those are the small parrots, man. The dwarf parrots, if I literally translate it from the Dutch. It's book of Psalms chapter 37 and 1. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Don't envy them, you know, because their end is fucked up. Their end is fucked up. You know, we have something beautiful to look forward to. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. And that's what it is. Wither as the green herb. This soon. If you see by all these signs, all these things that are going on in the world, showing us that their end is soon. You know. So there's the book of Daniel. Oh, I already read that one. You know, that they have this moment. This is what they have, you know. So this is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Yeah, you know, like I said, you might have your rest for a moment, but this is not our rest. You know, our rest is still about to come. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13. Chapter 13 and verse 14. For here have we no continuous city, but we seek one to come. You see that? We have no continuous city here, but we're seeking one to come. We're looking forward to it, you know. Like I said, we got something to look forward to. That's what it is. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because when the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushai is going to be established here on earth, it's going to be 100% righteousness. No more wickedness is going to, we have to deal with no more wickedness, man. That's going to be done away with. So let me see. This is the book of 2nd Esther, chapter 8. Let me start at verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And if you look at the so-called white people, they be walking with a lot of pride. But if you look at our people also, there are a lot of wicked pieces of shit in the nation of Israel also, that be walking around with great pride, thinking that they can get away with the shit. And the majority of those people are these females, you know. The majority of these people are these females. They think that they can get away with the shit that they are doing, man. Verse 51. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you paradise is open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared. It's already ready, plenteousness is made ready, a city is built, and rest is allowed. You see that? Really rest, not for a moment or for how long, how long you might go to another place, or take a little bit vacation or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, because the Most High is all about balance. You shouldn't be in a shithole all the time. That also can destroy you. You need some relief also, physically and mentally. That's what it is. But when the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushua is going to be established here, and all these heathens going to be in submission, then we as the real children of Israel, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos, we're going to have some real rest, man. We really going to enjoy the beautifulness of the creation of Yahweh Basham Yahushua, man. For unto you paradise is opened, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is built, and rest is allowed. Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the mud is hidden from you, and corruption is fled into the hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality. You see that? And that's what we're looking forward to receive that new body, to receive, to get the law, statutes, and commandments in our minds, because sins are the wages of death, meaning we ain't going to be able to sin no more. That means we ain't going to be able to die no more. In Yaharat Zah, I'm part of that number 2. We as the hopeful elect, Yaharat Zah, we part of that number. We gonna enjoy forever, man. So like I said, this little bit of sufferings that we got to deal with, it's just for a short period, so we looking to foreverness, man. So yeah, man. So yeah, with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstones for teaching us scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akiam across the world who are doing this work in sincerity and in truth. And shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do their best to please Yahweh Basham Yahushai. So yeah, man, with that, I'm going to say shalom.